Over a century ago, Strength singled out 3 women to refine meanings of the words mother and family in the African American community. August 25th, 1899, Martha Jane Alston, referred to as Jane, was born in the Inez community of the rural farming town of Warrenton, North Carolina. In her early teen years, Jane was married to Willie Alston.
It was 13 children, seven boys and 6 girls. We grew tobacco, cotton, corn, sweet potatoes, peanuts, white potatoes. We always had our garden. We grew almost everything we ate, right down to the wheat to make the flour and the corn to make the meal.
Along with raising her own children, Jane raised 6 other nieces and nephews after the death of her husband, Willie Alston.
And my mother, she worked on the farm, and she made our clothes, most of our clothes. She was a very good seamstress. Well, really, she was one of the smartest people that I know. She could teach as well as any teacher. She was the best cook in the world, and yet she worked in the fields right along with us. She became a single mother when my father was killed. He was shot to death, and then she took on all of the responsibilities of the house. And she ran a farm just like my father ran the farm. You know, nothing ever stopped. I've known when she picked over 200 pounds of cotton in one day. And, this is the kind of lady she was.
Jane's strength transferred to her children, specifically to her daughter, Dorothy Mae Alston. Dorothy was born April 16, 1932. Like her brothers and sisters, she began her early education at the Mayflower School. She was one of the few of her siblings that went beyond the 6th grade rule in her home and completed high school.
Concerning our education, only 6 of us went past the 6th grade, and 3 of us completed 12 years.
After completing high school at the J.R. Hawkins High School, Dorothy was married to Plummer Burgess. The Burgess family was compiled of 6 children, Dorothy and Plummer.
Well, I was born right here in North Carolina, and at the age of about 4 or 5, we moved to Baltimore, where I started my education. At the age of about 21, while I was in college, my father passed, and that's when my mother took on the total leadership part of the family. And she was she is a strong woman. I can't say was, because she's still here with us, but she's a strong woman, and I took great pride in watching the way she reared us and directed us to go to school. She graduated from high school, and she herself still went on to get a little bit more of education, because I remember being either in junior high or maybe entering high school, and she decided to go back to school and take night classes so she could become a certified secretary. And she tuned up her typing skills, and she got a job right away. So, we are a blessed family, because whatever we put our hands to, God manifests. So, she, through her being a secretary, was able to continue to raise us in the manner that we were used to being raised. We were well provided for. And she made sure that each and every one of us, there were 6 of us, well, there is 6 of us, and we all had the opportunity to go to college. My mother had money set aside for all of us. And we all started, as I think back, started some higher education. 4 of us graduated from college. Two of them, they started some things, but it never quite manifested for them, never quite completed. But she gave us all the opportunity to go to college and to be better educated.
Follett Elaine Burgess Wood is Dorothy's firstborn child. She was born in the Inez community on February 8, 1952. She was educated in Baltimore City schools and went on to obtain a degree in early childhood education from Coppin State University.
I think the strength of her mother rubbed off on her, and then her strength rubbed off on me, because I had the occasion too of being for a while a single mother. Started off a married mother, but then I became a single mother. So we all had our different ways of becoming single mothers, but we all took hold of our strength, and I think most of all our strength was Jesus Christ, because I can remember my grandmother being in the church and working hard in the church, and my mother, she's in the church and works hard in the church, and so that spirit poured out on me too. So I think what ties all of our strength together is the strength that the Lord gives us.
This legacy of strength is a generational blessing. It is through Christ's grace and provision that these 3 generations of women credit their strength to be exceptional mothers and resourceful breadwinners for their families.